Well, hello YouTube. Truck talks are back, only down a week. That's impressive for me. But this new mount, it sticks to the windshield the same way as the old one, which is good. And it lets me still use complete hands-free, which is really good. Just an update here. For those of you who follow me on TikTok or Clapper, you'll know that I'm far more active there than I am here. And I think that is because it actually does play to my psychology. TikTok and Clapper are more like conversations. Okay? I can post no more than 3 minutes, and it lets me make a point, but I'm not responding to comments as they come in. I'm not posting and then having to respond to comments in the comment thread. I can have a back and forth with somebody, and I've had that about politics. I've had that about medication and this whole push. Ironically, now that Nicki Minaj has come out against mandates, I'm actually seeing stories we shouldn't listen to celebrities. That headline's a bit misleading. You shouldn't listen to celebrities who don't do what the Democrats tell them. That's what their headline really said. But, I mean, it's very simple. The world is getting darker. The government is beginning to push for Orwellian rule. And I can talk about that there in, little 1 to 3 minute blurbs. People can respond, and I can respond either with a comment or a video. So I am far more active there. I would say, if you're going to come over to that type of social media, find me on Clapper. I am sheepdog_Smokey on Clapper. Don't ask, long story. But that is predominantly going to be what I do. I'm trying to get the account built up. I'm almost 23,000 followers on TikTok, a little over 600 on Clapper, but if I can get to the point on Clapper where, I can get basically monetized, then, I would be there doing my, videos throughout the week, and then possibly a live feed on the weekends. One of the things I do want to do, and I know I can't with certain books, because they're copyrighted, like 84, Brave New World, Fahrenheit 451. One thing I do want to do, because the one thing I have learned about myself is I do have a gift with vocal presentation. I very rarely let my own accent come through. You'll hear it here and there when I get tired, when I'm just having a conversation. But predominantly, my accent is that of a customer service representative. Someone who has learned to neutralize and control their accent so that no matter where you're talking to them from, as long as you speak the same language, you can understand them and they can understand you. With that said, I do not do dramatization, but I am considering a weekly live where I will read a chapter or 2, possibly 3, of the Bible. Have a 30-minute live. I'm not going to watch for comments. I'm going to be sitting and reading the Bible, starting in Genesis all the way to Revelation. And I am curious just how many of you might be interested in that, because, one, I'm going to read it for myself, but I could sit quietly with Goldberg variations on in the background, or some Bach, or Beethoven, Schubert, Brahms, Wagner, and I could quite happily sit and read. I often do that anyway. When I get my house finished, it will be more comfortable because I'll be in my easy chair, not in a desk chair. But if that is something that you would like to see, be it a live broadcast or recorded once a week and just posted on Sundays, then let me know on that. About the only thing in the Bible that I have difficulty reading out is the genealogy. The names are not always easy to pronounce. Anyone who has read Deuteronomy knows this. But I do better than some and better than most on being able to pronounce unfamiliar words. The reason I am considering a recorded version to be posted is what you just saw. I am still working on quitting smoking. I'm doing better, but I'm not there yet, so I still have a cough. And that can be rather distracting, and I don't want to do that, especially if I am reading God's Word aloud to those who wish to hear it. So I may do a recorded version that I can then edit to remove the coughs. I don't know. I'm going to have to put a lot of thought and prayer into that. I will say truck talks, they're going to come back, but not as common. For those who don't know, because I don't think I said anything here on the channel, a little over a week ago, the decision was made that to work on site at my company, you would have to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Now, for those who follow me on TikTok especially, or Clapper, you'll know that my doctor has told me I should not take it based on my medical history, my allergies, and many other factors. He's flat out told me it would be dangerous for me to take that vaccine. I trust my doctor. This is a man who's examined my blood. He's done all but do a spinal tap. For those who also don't know, when I worked for Tarrant County way back 20 odd years ago as a jailer, detention officer, after that year, I am a TB carrier. Now, anytime I give blood, I tell them I'm a tuberculosis carrier. Generally, what they tell me is, unless it's a drive for something like the pulse shooting or whatnot, they typically will turn blood into plasma. Stores longer. And I asked one of them, I said, do you really need to know that I'm a TB carrier? They said, yeah, mostly it's so that we don't contact you and say you're a possible carrier. If we've got a note that you already know, we're not going to contact you and say you need to go to your doctor and talk about tuberculosis. I said, okay, well, that's fine. It didn't take me anything to do it. But that and a lot of other things went into my doctor giving me that advice. And he flat out said, while I don't trust medications that were developed, tested, and approved in under 2 years, there are people who will not suffer effects from this. There are people who will not even notice that they took it. And there are people who will notice and will suffer horribly from it. And that's what I try to do. That's what he told me. He said, I do my damnedest to figure out which one of those you are. I said, well, the only one I'm worried about you telling me who I am is who I am. He grinned and said, yeah, you're the one I'd tell, don't take it. And I told my boss this. And my boss is great. I mean, we've talked about this. We've talked about returning to remote work. I had an issue with my ISP a little over a year ago that I was able to get resolved, and I've actually got a backup ISP that I don't know that we've ever gone down on it. It's not as good as my primary, but I think it cost me $10 a month, and it will do what I need to do. I'm actually considering just using it and not my primary network, just because nobody uses the backup. It's just there if we need it. And that way, I'm not putting traffic on the main network. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But starting day after tomorrow, the 20th, I am back to remote, meaning I'm not going to be in the truck every morning and every evening. My commute has gone from 6 miles to 60 feet. It's not even that. 6 miles to 40 feet. And I mean, I'm very grateful for that because it lets me keep a job that I do enjoy, that I do love, that I'm very grateful I have. Because, quite frankly, there's no job out there worth my life. The only thing worth my life is saving a life. I've always believed that. And while I didn't go military, I would not have had a problem laying down my life in service to something greater. But an IT job is not that. As a firefighter, I thought the same thing. You know, if I'm called to run into a burning building and I never get out of it, just let me save a life while I'm there. It's really the only two examples I can think of where I would not be upset if I had to give my life. An IT job ain't it. So I'm very, very grateful. I have prayed a lot, that I would get to return to remote work. And it worked out. I mean, God is good. I hate this road. I really need to get on our mayor to fix it, because it is in our town, no matter how much he argues it's not. Anyway, that is the update for today, 18 September 21. You're not going to see as much of me in the car as you might have been used to from TikTok, where, you know, I would record a video on the way in and on the way out of work. And I did that so I didn't smoke. And it's not that I don't want to have smoke in here. It's that if I smoke, I roll the window down, and that's bad for audio. But I mean, it worked out. I'm back to remote, which is nice. Save money on food, for sure. Because, well, there's only 2 pizza places that deliver to me. Uber Eats is about a $7 delivery charge for anything. And I'm not going to pay that. And quite honestly, I cook better than anybody that delivers. Save pizza for now. I don't have a good oven, although I'm working on that. Once I get my good oven, I will never again buy a frozen pizza. I will be making fresh dough, buying fresh ingredients, blocks of cheese, and I'm going to get a good food processor to grate the cheese. I mean, for those who haven't watched me for a while, I am addicted to sorted food on YouTube. The boys in Britain they are hilarious. And quite simply, Ben now, and James when he was there, are very gifted chefs. And I have learned quite a bit from them. How to do certain things, you know. I'd never in my life even heard the term spatchcock a chicken. But it's a great way to cook it if you don't have a rotisserie grill. Because it opens the chicken up and it really lets all the juices move. And I mean, I've done a lot of cooking that I never thought I would do because of a YouTube channel with, well, sorry about that, at the time, 5, now 4 goofballs from the UK. But that goes to show what I've said many times. It's not so much what you're teaching, it's how you teach it. Ben is a young man, younger than me. They're all younger than me. But the 3 who are not fully trained chefs are just utter goofballs. They're hilarious. Ben is a nerd, which I love. I am one too. But because of that, and because they're not in a culinary school or in a restaurant training people, they talk to the camera like they're talking to each other and like they're talking to friends. And it changes the dynamic. I mean, if I started giving lessons on my YouTube channel of how to build a website, it wouldn't work the same way because I would be showing you code. But if I did a video on how to cook a few of my favorite recipes, I'd probably have my mother with me. I'd have to hijack her kitchen. And we would just be talking. And at every step, I would be saying, now here's this step, we're going to do this, and so on and so forth. And then we would just be talking. And that informal atmosphere I love, because it does aid learning. Now, I've rambled and I've gone on several tangents. I need to go in and do grocery shopping. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.